Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting evening and amazing, spectacular, wondrous Propagandacaster. Me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the unmaster propaganda hero, psych defender of the fatherland. Off here to a 1v1 on Faymonville Approach. In the north, it is Bulat fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union. The glory of the Soviet peoples, taking on the role here of the 17th Tank Corps with armored assault tactics, defensive tactics, and guard rifle combined arms tactics with infantry T-70 and mine bolts. And the south, it is Miragefla, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Rolling out here with the Großdeutschland Panzergrenadier shown here with German infantry, strategic reserves, and Jaeger infantry with double panther bolts and infantry. We got Bulat here straight away with armored assault, which of course features the T-35 medium tank, radio intercept, self-repairs for the tanks, vehicles, R2, well, mostly tanks, I don't think vehicles get anyways, R2 shooting attacks, and the IS-2 heavy tank. Push out north here both sides. Also a big hearty thanks to Andrew for supporting the Propagandacast by donating. Big thanks to you, Andrew, and also a big thanks to my Patreon supporters who keep me in the business as well by pledging on Patreon on a monthly basis. You too can join the ranks for pledging, and you can also just donate. Links in the description. I should know, comment, like, share, subscribe, and press the bell button. Gonna push back in the easy, grab the northern fuel point there. Third conscript on the way there for Bulat. Plenty of infantry there, heading also southwards to secure the fuel point, even as he's, heading northwards. Quick sandbag in there from Bulat. Very good there. Swing how they comrades with those sandbags. But where does all the dirt come from? Well, turns out the sandbags aren't very good at holding sand, and they're not filled with sand. Pioneers up north with the conscripts. Bit of skirmishing there. More good news weather from Miragefla. That's it, the Pioneers can get some damage in up close. They do have a bit of combat ability there, but as a conscript long term, they need to get fairly lucky, which apparently Miragefla's Pioneers are getting, then they're going to arrive. One engineer swing in here for Bulat, conscript in there. Probably going to be a fourth conscript engineer squad here, number 2. Tends to be sort of the two primary builds at the moment with the Soviets in the early game. Strictly pursuing the machine gun here, which is caught off guard here. Bit awkward there for Miragefla. Great there for Bulat. Always great to catch your opponent's heavy machine gun team in a bad place like that. Miragefla, though, does not immediately treat, they're still moving about here. North here, bit of a standoff between Bulat and Miragefla in the centre, same here developing. Miragefla is going for a third grenadier squad, and Bulat is going for a fourth conscript squad. So far, fairly standard builds from either side. Miragefla, though, has yet to choose a doctrine. That said, the fact he hasn't gone immediately for, say, assault grenadiers slightly increased the chance of this being strategic reserves when it's all more like German infantry or Jaeger infantry, though. That said, not all players go for strategic reserves to actually bother with the assault grenadiers. You've got a lot of other great stuff, like for some of the Panzerville multi-J. Although you do benefit at least from having one assault grenadier squad, in my opinion. And certainly a map like this, where there's a lot more close quarters possibilities, the assault grenadiers, I think, could also be a fair inclusion here from the Miragefla, but that's that. Then for the conscript more troops arriving here, bit risky for Mirage to keep this around for too long without any immediate support. Moving up the heavy machine gun team there, which is already down to 2 men and less than, well, the third might be down to 4th health there. A bit risky for Mirage. There you go, catches 2 conscript here with MD-42, but not quite fast enough to go for the burst there, and so the conscripts managed to get out of the outrange to fire the MD-42 there. Close from the Mirage now, but sadly did not pay off. Conscript caught them bolting over. Bit awkward there. No tech yet from the Rash. I imagine Bulat is, there we go, going for the field infirmary. Grenadiers pushed out here, machine gun left behind here. Conscripts and Grenadiers continue to clash here, close to the centre cut off on there from the Miragefla. Skirmishing up north here, conscripts right about MD-42. And the conscripts right here in the centre as well. In the south, Bulat's infantry advances steadily for the Red Army and also grabbing the points here. Bulat very slowly getting back to elevation from Miragefla, and the Miragefla is looking like he might just be able to reverse that soon. Tech from Miragefla, and for Deutschland, we shall see soon what he's planning here. He's going for the carve point there. MD-42 a bit further backwards, grabbing the northern munitions there. In south here, Pioneers closing up the conscript here. Conscript on health of Pioneers. The Reds up close, could get the advantage. There you go, push them back. Bulat does not decide to figure out who's going to win that one. And bocage reinforcing healing. Nothing further Bulat space and the 17th Tank Corps. Pioneer moving up here, could lay down some sandbags, although could also wire this off. Fun fact, the Großdeutschland was named the Großdeutschland because, unlike most typical German divisions in general, back then, the Großdeutschland had to crew from across Germany, from the best of each, division there. So, the best part of Germany there, whereas most German, divisions up to that point actually crewed from specific parts of Germany. So, little fun fact there. Machine guns bring about here, ground northern point there. Panzer guns going away from Miragefla, very good. Still no sign of a doctrine, though that said he can't really get much, unless again his strategic research much under before really like 2 command points. Well, he could of course go for ambush training already, and there we go. With his Jaeger infantry Miragefla featuring, well, ambush training as mentioned, Jaeger light infantry upgrades, the command squad, light artillery barrages, and the Stuka close air support. Ambush camouflage in the Panzer Gunner dealer, very good. Will also benefit from it on the MD42. And the upgrades the Grenadiers, obviously, which he will, they will also typically benefit from it nicely. Cutting North Pacific Gunners Court here. Can also begin calling in the Jaeger Command Squad, which of course is another great addition to the Jaeger Doctrine, or Jaeger Infantry specifically, since obviously Jaeger Armoured doesn't get access to it. One can use it for Bulat, first squad equipped with mine communication harass from laying down mines. Certainly shows some caution there vis-a-vis telemines. So S-mines here from Miragefla. North Vietnam is around the conscripts. Conscript around the centre, machine gunners punishment forwards here. Something about there. And we got the medic bunker there for Miragefla. Sanitator, Panzer holding up here behind the heavy cover, ground the pond. Obviously, it just means they can't easily engage from range, but at the same time, you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure out where they're hiding. And if you have some artillery or tank, you just begin shooting at that particular spot, then you like to hit them. Meanwhile, we've got further takeout for Bulat, supporting company up, and then straight into the mechanized up tank battalion command. Ground the point of Gunners MD42. Gunners was the engineers there. Victory points wise, we got a ton lead for Bulat here with Miragefla.
The territory is out of contact. The sector has been cut off.
Gunners with the engineers up north. Pioneer chatting that counts was there. Jaeger Command Squad is available here for Miragefla as well. But of course, anyone else want to consider a light to make a nice company to be pressure Bulat with. Oh, you know, having a pack 40 soon, because Bulat's going to about hit him with a T-70 light tank, which is going to really be tough for Miragefla to deal with that and a tank, and or at least a plethora of armoured cars. But there you go. Bulat here pulls a bit of a fast one there, and actually goes for the half-day. There you go, Panzer Bank. Ambushing the conscript, getting some great hits there. Taking out a huge chunk of the conscript. There you go, Bangering retreat. Could see a welcome Bulat, and ooh, almost there. Almost. So close to Miragefla. So close. Really devastating ambush there, though, from Miragefla. Would only have been more devastating, of course, if he'd actually managed the wipe. Half of this almost done. Miragefla's getting like mechanized company. Will need the pack 4 though. Again, he could try with double 2-2 to deal with it, but I doubt he will. I'll wait, got the M5 half track out for Bulat, and of course, it's upgrading to the entire package to, you know, the upgrade to the entire half track. He could, of course, use it regularly, but, you know, I doubt he would. And just grab the centre of the Grenadiers, Panzer Grenadiers as well there. That's a good hit here, and certainly this will throw Miragefla off a bit because, well, most players just, you know, go straight for the T-70. The half track, of course, has the advantage to trade off a bit of munitions instead of having to pay for fuel. Of course, it's faster than the T-70, so again, used correctly, it can be quite devastating. Plus, it can also, you know, allow you to just push ahead faster than in tech as well, because you're then saving the fuel from the T-70 as well. So there's a few considerations we're going for the anti-aircraft half track over the T-70. Obviously, not as durable and not as great versus certain light vehicles, but on the other hand, again, it can pack quite a punch. Great versus air support as well, and can really just maul infantry too. So pack 40 out, they're going for the armoured cars from the right side, transport with infantry in the centre. We got Grenadiers with the conscript up north. Further north comes down the munitions point there. In the south here, Pioneers advancing. Grenadiers with the conscript, armoured cars getting ready. Pack 40 sitting out there from Miragefla. Bit of skirmishing here and there. Grenadiers going for the front of it. And there you go, armoured car here to Miragefla for Deutschland. Panzer Grenadiers moving forward here, no upgrade for the Grenadiers. No light machine guns, all T-43s as of yet. And the heavy machine team has not been upgraded with ambush camouflage either. Armoured car rushing forward here from Miragefla. Bulat's after they're fixed up. Mines spinning down into Bulat. Very good. Ground this on the fuel point again. And Molten Oil for Bulat. Not a bad pick. You could put pressure on Miragefla's support weapons. Could also lay down smoke screens. Use offensively or defensively. Punishing for 7 point. Half time for Miragefla. The regular one or a flame for half tech here. Bit of surprise twist there from Miragefla. Not what I'd expect. Not what I'd expect from him. Most players typically tend not to bother with the 250 half-track at all, so I mean, you know, I'd expect it out of all. Typically, most players wouldn't expect this at all. And plus, most Vanilla players typically only go for one light vehicle, and then that's it. Another bomb grenade in the retreat here, but then realised the captain pulled off. Armoured car, I think, could have been assisted with loading up better, but didn't get it in. There you go. 250 half-track out. Fully upgrade to the flamethrower. We keep it as a regular half-track. Both has their advantages, though personally I would prefer the regular half-track. Obviously, of course, once they're taking up in the near future. Pun's going to be pushing forward. Mortar firing down here from Bulat's mortar. Anti-aircraft tracking up with Bulat. Fun fact, the Search Actor did technically have a quart mount of their own using maximum for anti-aircraft service as well. Just not mounting the half-tracks. But little fun fact there. After they're ready for frontline service, can support troops, reinforce, heal if they pop into the half-track, can be laid down in mines later on. Plus, of course, it can also just be used for like ferrying troops around to like emergency points, or you know, break points, or you know, just support an attack by just quickly, you know, unloading assault troops into a really good spot there. So there's a lot of utility that will handle 250 and half-track there. So nice pick there, Miragefla, nice pick.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
And people tend to look at just to focus on the flamethrower half-track. These move forward to the north, we got the other cards in the ears. Further up north, Bulat pushes forwards. Miragefla, of course, could consider some mines in there versus Bulat. Wouldn't be a half bad idea there. Punt moving forwards, close to veteran 2 already. And before 2 backed up the armored car, but not much else. In fact, 40 can't easily assist you either against the half-back here, so a bit risky there, Miragefla, a bit risky. We do have tech there for Miragefla, so good. None yet here for Bulat. Panzer going to be gaining veteran 2, 12 kills. Getting some good work in here versus Bulat. Armored car versus the Frontovics. These moving up. We do have one lap machine upgrade here from Miragefla now. Okay, trick reinforcing and healing. Concentrating hammered over Gandhis and the armored car. Gandhis moving forwards. Assist 3 divisional field on the way there for Bulat. Panzer catch up in the centre, being reinforced with the half tank as well. There we go. Power of the 250 and half track. North League and these armored car attacks from the country up on the northern field point. At the same time, contact they could try and flank behind, but may also want to consider just getting out of there before they found their retreat path very much more disturbed by German infantry. Half track rushing forwards there. Enough they're going in for a lot of space. He could technically go for the mechanized armor company there, but I might if you get the manpower, but I don't think he's going to be incentivized to do it anyway straight away. Miragefla upon the course should be buildable now. In that regard, he could for some rush on Ostwind here versus Bulat. I think they should to specifically lock down the half track he wanted to. Last sort of threatening infantry going there. Oh, half track pantsing forwards. 2 thumbs up with Miragefla. Very nice play there. Engineers round it. Grabbing the northern point here. Going for the conscripts. Mortifying down the centre. Half track looks like it's moving up north to assist the troops there. Panzer is popping into an ambush position. Slow bleeding here, back there, no signs of Pomacol yet from Miragefla. In Bulat space, nothing further happening except reinforcement hitting 7, getting bled out by Miragefla. Some of these attacks are being quite painful for Bulat. He's being forced to a half track again. Nice usage of the 251. So Pomacol going up as well, very good. And an Ostwind rush round, I think Miragefla would be quite powerful. Because he's definitely got the fuel advantage over Bulat, so could pull it off. But again, timing wise, when standing may not feel like it because it's sort of like that time where you may not to be sure you got the advantage, but I would say the fact that Miragefla so consistently control both fuel points should at least give him the confidence to maybe consider pulling it for a fast flak panzer, but that is just me. So from a cop, of course, Bulat knows. Thanks to great intercept. Thanks to the conscripts. Right, going to go for Panther 4 here. Cover shattered, conscript routed. Plenty of mines from Bulat. Remember, I think they should lay down a single mine versus his opponent. There we go. Panzer can't fight in fear from Miragefla. Northern point being seized by the Grenadier. Half tech heavy damage, but also veterans want to connect use that to lay down mines if he wants to. And we've been caught a bit of half tank. Keep pushing southwards. pushing forward to the conscript. Of course, need to keep the flank supported. Pushing forward to the field of the mission. Bottoming up there. Needs to be mindful. Pentafor's almost done from Miragefla. Almost done. Bulat meanwhile is yet to take up. Collapse of the northern positions. Armoured craft has been fixed up. Though might be a bit in trouble there in the south here. So advance here from the Panzergrenadier under Miragefla's command. Front they say caught by them. Will likely be pushed back here. Not wasting a path in case Miragefla might feel keen on trying to pop another bunker at which anything pays off. Of course, that'd be a huge problem there for Bulat. Panther sitting out there, 10 machine on the way. Very good. Let's try the conscript there. Shot went wide. Gonista mine the centre. Another field gun there for Bulat. Possible chance that Bulat could be tempted to stall for the IS-2 heavy tank. Some players still like to do that. It is a lot rarer. I could see it happening. Mirage for me, we're going for a mortar Granadenwerfer. Ground field six. Panther on the way there, adding the pin machine to that one.
Light artillery awaits your orders.
Package reinforcing healing.
We have a mortar team available for deployment.
Armoured covers the conscripts. Mid-Stützen Panzerwagen good to go. That said, of course, he still needs to build the mechanized armor company. He's in fact stalling for half to rushing forward. Say again, Panzergrenadier is, obviously where they are. Panzergrenadier good to go at half take though. So we got penetration in. Got helicopter the field gun. Being hard to just fire before. Got the half track though. Got the half track. They need to get up to start on the wrong place with Panther 4. And the South Panther catching the conscript, doing heavy damage here with the assault rifles. Panther 4 though hits the mine blade down previously here by Bulat, and this leaves Miragefla's Panther 4 in a terrible position. He needs more support nearby, but the problem is most of his forces dug up northwards. Panther rushing forward, not using spread though. And the Panther ultimately goes down. Bit of a risky gambit there by Miragefla in this case, did not work out. And certainly a half track for Panther 4 is a pretty bad trade from Miragefla, because for Bulat, it's amazing. And he lost the Panther as well. Now that really turned ugly there for Miragefla. That turned terrible. Not only lose the Panzer 4, he lost a Panzer Grenadier squadron just with 3 Grenadiers now, no tanks, and certainly could further incentivize Bulat to maybe actually stall for Tier 4. Wasn't already planning it. He might certainly be more tempted to do so now. Half tank doing nothing there. Definitely get active there, I think, for the rest of his forces, and needs to upgrade his Grenadiers. He's finally starting to do so slowly, though could still do with some average camouflage. And may also have to go for an Jaeger command squad, just adding some more infantry immediately. They can hit hard here against Bulat's forces. I can see that becoming a bit of a necessity here from Miragefla. Going for another mortar. Seems to indicate a shift in strategy from Miragefla. They're suddenly shifting towards more defensive play, which I don't know. Typically for the Vanquish, the soldiers you don't want to like stall out. You typically want to like keep hitting hard. You want to like prevent them from like going for their big things, because the soldiers can typically like grind you out if you're not careful. So this feels a bit risky from Miragefla. Indeed, he's trying to play sort of like a slowest long-term strategy. So it's there's certainly, I think, a potential there that he basically gets his arse handed to him on the silver platter. So a bit risky there, Miragefla. A bit risky. He's putting back in the knees here. Armoured car close to 250 half tech seems to have been entirely forgotten here by Miragefla. Definite shame there, definite shame. Doing a lot for him. We got more Grenadiers, not even placing the Panther Grenadiers, calling it a Jaeger command squad. He just goes for a 4th Grenadier squad. I found that one a bit dubious, considering he still hasn't, for example, upgraded all of his regular Grenadiers. Seems a bit strange to then go for more regular and unupgraded. Meanwhile, got the mechanized armor company for Bulat. Fairly late, but again, if he's going for the IS-2, timing doesn't necessarily matter too much unless his opponent himself had radio interested, in which case, which of course it does, but theoretically there's the potential of using this as like, you know, way to like, you know, deceive your opponent to figure out you're going to push armor anytime soon, and then suddenly, you know, boom, like suddenly, you know, later down the road, IS-2. That's about really I can imagine. And sadly, the Vanguard doesn't quite have that dynamic to pull that deception versus the Soviets, if they were aware of, course, being armored assault. Armored cars being heavily damaged with the conscripts, quick suppressing them. Being hammered with heavy fire. Back here, gunners reinforcing, healing, or at least they should be reinforcing. Just getting hammered here with assist 3 division field guns. Mortars flying away there, laying down a heavy carbon mortar here against Bulat's positions. Though sadly not hitting. Though of course, again, from Bulat's perspective, it's great they're not hitting. It's amazing. Up north they don't the engineers. Engineers definitely not standing a chance on the mine sweep, but I mean, they could pretend it's a light machine gun, but that's not going to actually work against an actual light machine gun. Pew pew! Stop it, buddies! Going pew pew won't actually impress the Germans with their actual machine guns. Oh. Mortar they're getting hammered by soda too far from both their mortar, but also crucially their field guns. And there you go, almost got both mortars wiped. In fact, one of the mortars did get wiped there by Bulat's mortar. That's great there from Miragefla, great for Bulat. And he is very close to the IS-2. He almost has the fuel manpower wise. It's a bit more to go, but in the greater scheme of things, not the biggest issue. I think currently, unless Miragefla again really nice, like, you know, turn up the pressure here on Bulat and start making it happen to like preserve manpower, but so far Miragefla again by suddenly switching to a more slower defensive strategy. It seems a stalling strategy again makes it easier for Bulat himself to stall up for his bigger tank faster than Miragefla can. And there's still no clear indication of what Miragefla is planning here. Then he's advancing in the centre. And he's advancing here, troops reinforcing healing, field guns in the move again with the mortar backing it up. After going down mines, fine touches for after again. Bams up this Miragefla. Still not clear what Miragefla is planning. Pushing for the centre. Waiting for the sun and fuel. Far up north, the instant loaning the new squad advances for Bulat for the glory of the Red Army. In the centre, the news contributing force back to the field guns. Half taking switch to safety. Oh, that half taking used to be. Oh, we got lucky. At least one shot whiffed. So even if the other hit, the half tech's advantage can be repaired again. The south gun is for the conscripts. Getting support there from the wreckage of the Panther Foot, that doesn't last long. And with 2 gunneries left, low health, they're going to treat unless he might want to risk handing his light machine over to the enemy. Up north here, assault is thwarted here by Miragefla, who stubbornly is dug in and refuses to yield any ground to Bulat. One of these engineers up north finding out in the centre here, we've got country being pushed back from his pioneers and mortars. Troops reinforcing healing from Miragefla, still no sign of anything, no armour, no tech, no nothing. At this rate, he's going to, I think, needs to push out a bunch of Stooks to have a good, decent chance as the IS-2. Bulat is roughly a minute away from that now. Mortar firing down here, punching Bulat's mortar going to blame. We got a Panther from Miragefla. We shall see who regrets that one. I say there's a fair chance that he will, since the Panther 4 is not particularly well sort of taking on the IS-2. Further up north, they're routed. Not seeing a lot of action in the south. They feel like Miragefla could at least afford to dispatch a single pioneer squad to move about there, grab some points. Sneak away territory from Bulat. Bulat still reinforcing a lot, which does delay the IS-2, and again, the longer he delays the IS-2, the better for Miragefla. The much better. Mortar's going falling back here, popping to the half for some healing. Very good. Auto course alarm to mobilize it. Panther 4 down there from Miragefla. Panther 4 running ahead here from Miragefla for the glory of Germany. Kruppstahl. Und die Nibelungwerke. Panther rushing forward from the northern victory point there. Panther rushing shoots, misses. South of the pump being ceased, fuel pump being grabbed back there by Bulat. In the centre, machine hit in the building. And of course, needs a manful of Soviet artillery, which could quickly collapse it on it. The new squad with the Panther 4 small kill there for Miragefla. Bulat, though, is now very close to the IS-2 heavy tank. We shall see again how Miragefla responds to this Soviet behemoth of Stalinist steel. He's got the southern fuel point, and there you go, IS-2 heavy tank out here for Bulat. Rolling forward, and the Pin Mountain heavy machine gun there, the Dishka. Pursued up north here. Then using northward as well. IS-2 rolling ahead here. south here. Point slowly being grabbed up there. Miragefla up in the north is where the real action is happening. Pack 4 being pushed back. IS-2 running forwards. Then I'm seeing normal dump machine gun is going to have to retreat there before they get gnarly. There goes shot fired. Missed. Unfortunately for Bulat. Fortunately for Miragefla's grenadiers there. There you go. Reinhardt there blown to bits. Pack 4 number 2 from Miragefla. No stupid response to that. No student Geschütz. What he's planning then. So the fuel pump being grabbed, and again Miragefla's going to get a lot of fuel there over his opponent. Pack 4 turning around here. Shot bounce off the inside of one of the IS-2. Pack 4 Johnson hits a telemine. No, great. Oh no, it's the Schützenmine actually, not a telemine. I was there taking more damage still. It's a mine, and the IS-2 stuck kind of in front of the Pack 40 here. That's very helpful. That's just one game. This would be great for target weak point. Target to weak point. Oh dear. He's not targeting it. He's not targeting it. Oh, it didn't. Too late now. Definitely think missed opportunity to maybe stun the IS-2. They're going to make the Panda first. No, they can't. They're doing too much damage here. The IS-2 concentrate. Mortars also on top of it from so much to fight. He's also back up too close. IS-2 there less than half health. Second Pack 40 ready, but Miragefla's definitely a awkward position again here as Bulat hammers away there. As him and his fascist friends in the south, if you're pumping grabbing in the east, pioneers bring up their from in the south. Consequently, press more pioneers from Miragefla. Need to grab that pack as well. Reinforcing healing from Miragefla back at base. Second pioneer squad already. Guess we'll have to see what Bulat follows up with. Could likely be T-34s, but Katyusha I also think are very likely here to deal with all the support into Miragefla's gun. And Katyusha could decimate Miragefla bunch up as Pack 40. It's too much for some. All the mortars would be definitely does bunch up too much. Armoured cut down another stinging blow there to Miragefla. In heat of battle, he needs to come up with some new battle plans here to overcome Bulat. And his sheer Stalinist might. From fourth hit, pack of nut. Second pack gets a shot through. 4 and 4 kills in the two mortars. Another hit there through the front armor from the Pack 40s. This comes from the south here. We've got 371 to 311. North here on these catching the counter there, trying to get on sandbags, coming to the field point. Center road seat, pioneers on gears right with Panther pioneers throwing up. IS-2 remaining reserve up north. Could do some repairs there. Could also do with more armored support. That's from Miragefla. His base remains silent on the armored front. We said we got plenty of fuel for like 100 falls. Stoots, in fact he's got enough fuel now for 2 Stoots. Or 2 Ostwinds. But so far Miragefla remains hesitant to further commit to armor. Up north they're point being seized by the Grenadiers. As said, he's heavily focused around here. Southward's got Bulat and grabbing the point there. IS-2 back for repairs again. 5 kills so far. Miragefla's mortars just bombarding, wildly, but with the certain mortars it doesn't really matter much since they take low cooldowns on the barrages. Plus, they got auto fires and just like home to get like the mortars. It's typically not half bad compared to like something like the longer cooldown like Panzer Nevers or Katyushas or Howards. It's like big long cooldown there's again like waste of barrage there. It sucks, but the mortars like well, not a big deal. Looks like he's going to try and hand back at the enemy mortar there. Got hit there. Bumping hit up in U-32. Killing the mortar crew on the Soviets. Got messages on one mortar crews. Loses 2 men. There we go. Almost wipes Bulat's mortar crew in return. Noting, of course, that Bulat's mortar crew is ace level. Both of Miragefla's are 2 up north here to the Pike holding up, thinking on Bulat's positions. Yes, indeed, making hardy to support the tank. Force that to back off, but nothing really pursuing things off the tank. For example, there's no double Stug, which would be great for like think pushing in and taking out the IS-2. Make me feel very sad about the current state of affairs. Another Panther for the Miragefla, no Sturmgeschütze at all here from Miragefla. And Bulat, as predicted, Goes for the Katyusha here to blast from an outside support weapon. Consider considering in right now, I mean, he's really got them bunched up. He like there's mortars right next to each other. Pack 40 machine gun, like it's just, you know, target practice for the Katyusha. Hey Dimitri, I'm a bit worried we may not have calibrated the rocket array properly. Oh, don't worry, the Germans have set up a training zone for you over there beyond. Oh, nice. Nice two sitting out there for Bulat.
We have lost a Granatwerfer.
Mortar wiped.
We have a new Panzer IV. Attack! Katyusha now available.
There we go, Katyusha's arrived. Second temple also arrived. You got mortar there. I'll have to get him into 2. Very nice there for Miragefla.
Losing a sector.
Now things about to get less nice. About right firing down there. He's taking losses. Mortar's also in definite trouble here. Half-Tech is also looks like in trouble. North here, Panther 4 is engaging. Not quite committing his heart there. Pack Crew's taking losses there. A merciful barrage here on the Miragefla from Bulat, it seems. See, I told you, the rocket array was not calibrated properly. I'm telling you, some people don't know how to set up the rockets properly. Still no ambush camouflage on the gun. These all the machine gun team, right? That's definitely a bit disappointing from my perspective. Panther having the constant there, blasting away. Shot fire, missed though. Whiff, like quite a few shots from the Panther, whiffs at times. There's the conscript. Mine goes off somewhere. Have to be fixed up. Then it's being overwhelmed by sheer numbers there, guys. Should see coming from north here. Waiting in between Mirage there, between 2 pushes there. The north push is definitely the weaker one. Also got a push for this. But this is much stronger than numerous infantry squads plus support weapons. Miragefla is losing more and more initiative, and he doesn't seem to quite know how to break out of this situation. North here, though, seems to be an attempt here with the Panther backed up by some infantry pioneers. Going here for the IS-2 shot. Fire, pack shoots. Near suppressed, pinned down. Pioneer advancing. And here we got the company road with the 2 half-track, and of course, all the stuff working with the half-track. Got hit, but there's suicide from north, center, on the front here. Getting a great hit down the Pan 4, putting down to half health. Center here, Miragefla holding up the line. We got conscript and field gets bombing up to an M42. Sitting up here, that's perhaps been considered popped here. But I think at this point it's too late. It's the field to the bottom of the MD42. North here looks like a counter-attack, trying to catch the IS-2. Could pull off the grip. There you go, Katyusha's right lance. A devastating hit. They're decimating Miragefla's gun knees, leaving barely any alignment. Could actually wind them off there. And there you go, machine crew wiped out over the field gun barrage. Miragefla is getting hammered here by Bulat. Nice hit from the pack 4 on the IS-2 there. Several hits there now. Down to almost half up, but he's certainly doing some damage there. The promise is losing the rest of the front line here to Bulat, which is obviously less of a celebratory cause here for Miragefla. Bulat meanwhile needs to keep up pressure. He's also considering down some mines here and there. That'd be great for him. Mines here would be a great spot for someone to slow down further counterattacks from Miragefla further. But as he's floating some munitions anyways, like there's no reason not to start spamming mines. And before they're rushing in, heavy damage, and sensing perhaps a bit of this from Miragefla, that was just painful to watch. I can understand what he wanted to do there, but the path there was definitely not the right one, and he also underestimated, I think, Bulat's field guns there. So that was a nasty hit there. He's still flooding fuel, so not much going on in the base either. Then we've got the mortar. So the Miragefla situation just got a lot worse. Bulat could also begin pushing in T-35 to back up his IS-2, which is going to make things further miserable for Miragefla. And really requires some Stooks because the Panzer IVs will absolutely not cut against IS-2s and T-35s. Two long thoughts here, can use some fire. 10 kills in the IS-2 there.
lines of supply are disrupted.
344 with 252. Gunners went in the midst of the tree. Nice shot from the pack forward there, punching through the RC front armor. Another shot there. T-3045 ready here for Bulat for the glory of Stalin. Continuing forwards here. And he's going to intercept that, but Miragefla's really just in an awkward spot now. He's got all the fuel in the world, but nothing to really do with it, it seems. And Empire's like not helping out a ton either. Got air spoken over Bulat. Miragefla's not really got a lot to shoot down, but he hasn't up his camp before. He doesn't have anything to shoot it down with. The situation for Miragefla is getting increasingly worse as Bulat is just squeezing further and further dry here. Half track knocked out. Telecalling that field guns bounced out. By this point, it's like a huge blow there for Bulat, to be honest, and he does lose them. One field crew exterminated. Almost got the only action, it's the counter of sacrifices accountable to keep it alive. That seems perhaps a bit overwrought. That's putting out two counter swords, but at the same time, can Miragefla punish this? In the south, the Unibot in the T-35. The situation is fluctuating for Miragefla and the German army. Team forward shoots, misses, or perhaps it's a warning shot. Doubtful though. 11 kills there. And being fixed up. Still on here with Miragefla. Oh, he's got no packs left. Miragefla's now being confined to his base here by Bulat. Surrounded, he's barely got any territory left. He's beating up victory points. Slowly but steadily. Reinforcing healing. Bit of quiet here. Miragefla seems to be trying to figure out what he wants to do now. His forces are beaten, battered, and his options are also quite limited. Let's keep going ahead here for Bulat. The glory of Stalin. Shot fired there, half decent hit. Coming forwards. I think Miragefla surrendered, realising that the cause is lost. The GG game over, victory for Bulat, a loss for Miragefla. Nice using on assault here for Bulat. Meanwhile, Miragefla, I feel like really never utilised Doctrine very well. There was not a lot of ambush training, no sprints, no D33s and the Grenadiers, which I feel like I still overlooked quite a bit. The command squad used either. So they kind of sort of flapped about there. Plus, there's too much armor floating there, or fuel floating there, so they just didn't never really do well there either. Bulat, meanwhile, I think kept a pretty good practical game and utilised the resources quite well. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell a friend, tell a family, don't tell me. This is impelling to cheers. Thank you for watching. Up till tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.